Hi, my name is Teresa Foster, and this is my Case Study 5.1 video submission. In Case Study 5.1, I have spoken with a 56-year-old male individual who is seeking counseling services. I have spoken with him over the phone, and through our 5-minute conversation, he exhibited a sense of mistrust and cautiousness with what he chooses to disclose. I also find out during this 5-minute conversation that he has fear of losing a relationship that is very close to him. I invite him into an individual session as one of my openings came available. During this session, I find out that he has untreated PTSD and he continues to have a sense of mistrust. After conducting an assessment to see if he is eligible for and will benefit from a group session, I found that he is, and invite him into a group session that I have. During this group session, he continues to cry hysterically and shows mistrust with the rest of the group. He briefly opens up and shares that this is an issue with him. During our intake session, he unexpectedly brings his partner. His partner is more verbal than he is. He continues to show distraught and uncontrollable feelings. I also find during this session that his PTSD, untreated, may have been contributing to the relationship problems he's been having with his significant other. I also found out that his significant other's family disapproves of their relationships and seeks and hope for them to continue to break up. Regarding this particular situation, as a counselor, there are some ethical and legal issues to be mindful of. For example, before he enters into the group session, it is imperative for me to inform him that confidentiality will be limited. I will inform him that anything that is shared during the group by others and by himself is to remain confidential, and that there is no guarantee of confidentiality once group dismisses. So anything he shares will be at his discretion, and he must be selective with what he shares if he feels it may be he does not want it to be spoken about outside of session. According to the AACC, Section 1630, confidentiality limitations must be established during the informed consent process, which is found in the AACC Section 1310. Also, when he unexpectedly brought his partner before the session begins, it is imperative that I inform them both the same statutes, that confidentiality will be limited and confidentiality is not guaranteed. And if nothing wishes to be disclosed outside of the session, they are to be more selective with what they share, since I cannot guarantee it amongst them too. Furthermore, regarding him as his crying hysterically and his uncontrollable feelings and his PTSD, I will conduct a assessment for suicidal and homicidal thoughts. Due to it appear his diagnosis going untreated and him not having control of his feelings and him showing those uncontrollable feelings not only alone in individual sessions but also in group sessions, I would make sure to do the suicidal assessment to make sure that he is within his right mind, and also to make sure to inform him of the limitations of confidentiality if he discloses that he is suicidal. I must protect him and any other individual that he may have shown to have a threat towards, such as a significant other, if these feelings not only include depression but maybe also anger and rage that could lead to violent acts. Regarding Chapter 8 and discussing and working with diverse populations, I would be in mind that since the individual is 56, he is up in age, he may not be a senior, but he is older. I would be mindful that as individuals get older and they are more at risk of suicidal thoughts and depression, and considering that this is a loss that is a high risk for this individual, in which case, as stated, a suicide assessment will be essential. Regarding the gender of the individual, I would be mindful to keep in consideration and show compassion in his ability to show vulnerability. Though his feelings are uncontrollable and he is crying, I will assure him that there is nothing wrong with crying despite his gender, and encourage a vulnerable atmosphere and one that is confidential, safe, and secure. Sexual orientation. If the significant other happens to be same sex, I would be sure to keep my biases aside in order to better assist them. According to the AACC, there has been conflict regarding sexual orientation and lack of ethical concerns of helping homosexual individuals and those of the LGBTQ community. I would be sure to address the individual and his PTSD, despite it conflicting, his sexual orientation conflicting with my own personal religious beliefs. His ethnicity and any cultural aspects I would take into consideration regarding his treatment. For example, is his ethnicity and cultural beliefs contributing to his PTSD or any triggers that he may have, or can it serve as a strength for him overcoming? I will take all these into consideration regarding treating an individual. Nevertheless, the most essential part is making sure that there is no harm to him or to others prior to proceeding with services, and disclosing with him my duty, my professional obligation to report that to the needed parties if there is. If not, I will address his PTSD, as that seemed to be the rooted matter that is causing to cause conflict between him and himself and his relationships. Regarding the couple and him in the groups, I was encouraged that he be mindful that confidentiality is not guaranteed. And since this individual has a history of mistrust, that would be essential for him to know prior to proceeding with any type of services, and with him going into any kind of settings where other individuals are involved, and that includes a significant other. Thank you.